Bring in now Dow Jones CEO and Wall Street Journal publisher Almar Latour. What a huge day, Almar. You have been in the inner workings of this for many, many months now. I finally see a smile on your face. What is the reaction, particularly in the Wall Street Journal newsroom right now?
Yeah, it's amazing to see that headline from the Wall Street Journal because we didn't know when that finally would be coming, but today was the day. This is obviously a historic day. People are elated. There's a lot of bottled up emotions throughout the company, throughout the Wall Street Journal newsroom. Everybody has worked so hard toward this, putting the spotlight on Evan, putting the spotlight on press freedom, making sure that we were talking to policymakers, decision makers, to advance Evan's cause and to advance the cause of press freedom around the world, particularly in places where that's very difficult. And so this is a joyous, historic day, not only in the history of the Wall Street Journal for Evan, for his family, but I think also more broadly for press freedom.
Almar, it's John Roberts here in Washington. The last time we spoke with you, it was July the 19th. It was the day that Evan was sentenced to 16 years in prison in a court proceeding that appeared to be rushed, which led us to speculate that maybe a deal was imminent. And I remember Sandra asked you something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you were playing your cards very close to your vest at that point. Did you have an inkling that this was in the works and was imminent?
Well, listen, I think I'll leave it to the U.S. administration to explain the intricacies of how a deal like this has come together. But suffice it to say is that we were working up to what we hoped would be a very, very positive outcome. On the day prior, we had a particularly fateful meeting with the family and also visited the White House. And so at that time, there was certainly a lot of hope pent up, and but with deals like these, they're not done until they're done, and so only today can we really say a deal was done.
Such an important point, Almar. The president spoke live from the White House just a few moments ago as we learned the details of this swap, and he talked about the importance of the assistance from our allies in getting this done. Listen.
This deal would not have been made possible without our allies. Germany, Poland, Slovenia, Norway, and Turkey, they all stepped up, and they stood with us. They stood with us. And they made bold and brave decisions, released prisoners being held in their countries who were justifiably being held, and provided logistical support to get the Americans home. So for anyone who questions whether allies matter, they do. They matter. Today is a powerful example of why it's vital to have friends in this world.
An important point that we didn't do this alone, and we didn't get this done alone, Almar.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us in the background, we knew that there was an international dimension to this, that other countries would be involved in making this happen, that there were many other narratives happening at once for other individuals. And so for us, as you saw in our statement, we thanked outside the U.S., Germany in particular, their help was, we believe, instrumental in getting Evan's deal done, as well as to this broader arrangement that the government should really speak to.
Now, Almar, there was something else that the president said that really struck me as a journalist who has worked around the world. But when he was asked what he would say to these states that take Americans and other people from other nationalities hostage, he said, don't go. And I mean, the tenets of journalism are that you go to difficult places where you potentially put your lives in danger because you need to report what's going on around the world. And for the president to simply say, don't go, as opposed to saying to Vladimir Putin, don't take any more of our people hostage because there will be serious consequences if you do, strikes me as not being something that really supports the idea of press freedom around the world.
So today we're just grateful for Evan's return, but I got to say that we, in spite of this being a joyful day, we got through this ordeal of 16 months only because Vladimir Putin's autocratic regime chose to arbitrarily detain our journalists and many, many others around the world. That's despicable. We condemn it. It should not happen, and that condemnation should be globally stronger than ever before. And so you're absolutely right in that we will be in places where we can be. We should be reporting from all the world's hotspots. Information and reliable information today is more important than ever before. And so we're not simply going to not go to places, but obviously we have to be mindful and careful where we go. But if we just give up and say, well, we will no longer come, then we will lose something. But that will be for the days to come to make decisions on how we're going to report and where, and that's up to our editor-in-chief, Emma Tucker, who's been a major supporter of all this.
She has indeed, and she has been leading the charge in the newsroom to celebrate this. We actually just received some brand new video of the Wall Street Journal newsroom, Almar, when celebration erupts upon the learning of this swap and the return of Evan. I believe Emma is addressing the reporters in the room. And what a moment this is, Almar. And I know that you're incredibly close and have been close to Evan's family. And I know so many of the details behind the scenes are private. But can you share with anything you have heard from them, either upon his release or leading up to it, about how they're feeling and sort of their response, or even Evan himself?
Well, the last week has been very emotional for them, as this moment seemed to draw closer, but you never know what will happen. And this morning, on their way to the White House, we dropped them off. And there was a lot of humor and a lot of tender moments when we all realized, the family in particular, what this meant, that this ordeal had come to an end. And so it's one of the most touching moments that I've personally ever experienced, but also I know that for the family who's been heroic throughout all of this, this was a day they'll never forget, of course.
You and Sandra mentioned Emma Tucker, who's the editor-in-chief, and we saw her there in the newsroom spreading the good news. Here's what she said in an email to the staff, quote, "It is a joyous day for Evan's family, friends, and colleagues who have worried about him and supported him these past 16 months. He was our inspiration, the galvanizing force. We watched him deal with his absurd predicament with strength, composure, humor, and a heart sign from behind the walls of his courtroom glass cage. Along the way, we learned about his life and his history and understood why he is beloved by so many." You know, we've talked to people who were held hostage in the past, and the way, the courage with which Evan dealt with his unjust imprisonment really was something, I think, for the world to see. You know, we would see him in the court in that glass cage. He often had a bit of a smirk on his face, knowing that it was a kangaroo court proceeding that he was going through. I don't know if you've had a chance to speak with him directly in the time that he was incarcerated or with his family, but how did he keep up his spirits, given what he was going through at Lefortovo prison?
Yes, direct access to Evan was near impossible, other than through his lawyers indirectly, and then through diplomacy from time to time. But I think he got through this, one, because he's got a very solid foundation. He's very confident in who he is and what his role is in Russia and was in Russia. He understood what was happening to him, and he had seen this movie play out many times before to friends of his and people that he covered, and so he knew his predicament. He also has a love for the Russian people and for Russian culture. I have learned that from his parents and his friends, and a passion about explaining what was happening there. And so I think all those things probably helped him in his resilience. This is a young man who has friends all over the world. I was just recently in Amsterdam meeting with the Moscow Times. People from his past, near and far, still hold him so dear. And so I'm sure he could feel that global support, support from his newsroom colleagues, support from the wider media world, support from his family, and also support ultimately from the authorities in the US and beyond. And so I think all that helped. But here's the good thing. he will get to explain this himself. We will no longer need other people to explain his viewpoint or advocate for him or interpret the importance. He will get to speak for himself, and that's really the true victory today.
Almar, I think it's an important reminder. And by the way, we are awaiting this White House press briefing. Bottom of your screen, you can see that there. We do expect this will begin any moment now. When it does, we will go to that live. Almar, we remind our listeners and our viewers of the piece that Evan wrote before his detainment. We can put the headline in the Wall Street Journal up on the screen. Russia's economy is starting to come undone, it read. Investment is down, labor is scarce, budget is squeezed. Oligarch, there will be no money next year. The date on that, March 28th, 2023, 10:45 a.m. Eastern time. You look back and you see what is happening today and what it took to get to this moment, all these months of detainment.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.